Joining us now to discuss this further is Democratic Congressman from the state of Washington and ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, Adam Smith. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us today. First, let's share the common message spoken by Democrats this week. Watch this.
Did the administration effectively make the case for war?
No, they did not. It was a deeply unsatisfactory hearing.
There was no imminent threat to the United States that I believe would constitute putting our sailors and soldiers in harm's way.
Yet he still won't explain to the American people why he started this war.
Congressman, you've called it a war of choice. Can you explain that to us?
Well, a war of choice is when you don't face an imminent threat, when you're not doing something purely defensively. And that, I don't think that's much in dispute here. There wasn't any imminent threat to the U.S. Iran, definitely a threat in a variety of different ways. Now, I will say, because of what Israel has done over the course of the 2 years prior to this, Iran was as weak as they've been over the course of 20 years. But I think it's accurate to say there was no imminent threat from Iran. I mean, even the clip you showed of the president talking about the nuclear weapon thing, that's simply not true. I've seen the intelligence. Iran was further along towards a nuclear weapon than any of us should be comfortable with, but they were not about to build one, much less about to use one. And also, we have yet to see any intelligence from the administration that the midnight hammer strike set them back substantially. So we don't know exactly where their nuclear weapon program is at. There's a whole bunch of other issues, but the basic point is there was no imminent threat. And also the president did not make a clear case to the American people. This is the first war we've gone into in history where even at the start, the American people are not in favor of it. And I think a large part of that is because the president and his party didn't do what people normally do when they're getting ready to go to war, which is make a detailed and lengthy argument to the American people to make the case for it.
But sometimes you got to take the opportunity when it's there, right? I mean, let's go back. So you got elected in '97, which is why you're ranking member right now. Many times you've got Democratic presidents, Clinton, Obama, Biden, use premeditated military force. Sure. Serbia, Yemen, Somalia, Syria, other places. Speaker Pelosi in the past has said that presidents had the authority to do what they did. No war powers vote was needed. Yeah. So I guess the question that a lot of folks have is what's the difference now? Obviously a Republican president, but what's the difference?
Well, I think two things are different. First of all, this is a large-scale conflict. This is not something that's going to be quick. We've already seen it has now engulfed 14 different countries. Oil prices have gone up substantially. We have major disruptions throughout the Middle East. This is not like Grenada or even Panama or even Libya. This is a full-scale Middle East war, something that every president for generations now has been trying to avoid. So it's massive, first of all. Second of all, we should have learned some lessons from the last 25 years in Iraq, in Libya, in how long we stayed in Afghanistan. That it is very, very seductive to think that war and an act of violence can solve a problem. I know, I've been there. I've heard the arguments, and I've in the past occasionally been persuaded by them. You see what Saddam Hussein is, what Muammar Gaddafi is, what the Taliban are, and you're like, we have to fix that. But we've learned that it's not as easy as it looks, and excessively relying on the military, A, comes at great cost, and B, doesn't give you the result that you are hoping for in most instances. You know, you can put it down on paper, you can put it down on a computer spreadsheet and say, we're going to do this, this, that, and the other thing, and then we're going to get there. We've learned that doesn't happen. So my hope is that we've learned some lessons, and nobody articulated this better than Donald Trump on the campaign trail in 2024. Who said he wasn't going to do this. In fact, he specifically said, elect me president, there will be no war with Iran. He said that over and over again. So he seemed to have learned that lesson, but then once he got in the White House and had the power at his disposal, he was tempted to push that button that so many have pushed before him.
I agree that's what he said, but sometimes circumstances changes. Just like President Obama had to make a tough call here and there, Biden did too, and I think that's the difference.
Yeah, if I might.
Real quick, but yes,
in terms of what Trump said, and I'm not trying to be overly argumentative, he didn't say, circumstances, whatever. He said that because of his deterrent power as president, the war would not happen. He didn't say, I'm going to come in, I'm going to do everything in my power to stop it, but circumstances, no. The promise he made to the American people was because he's such an incredibly talented negotiator on deals, and because he's so strong that they wouldn't dare create a situation where he had to go to war. That's the promise he made, which pure and simply didn't pan out.
Agree, but I'll have to say sometimes circumstances changes, and the executive, whoever it is, has to be nimble and make those decisions that they may not want to make. But Congressman, I appreciate you always coming on. I wish more in your party would come on to explain your positions, because I think it's important. And I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, Congressman.
Yeah, well, thank you for the chance. And I agree. I mean, look, we're going to have disagreements. It's just we've gotten to the point in this country where if someone disagrees with us, we just scream at them and then turn the TV off. And that's not helpful. So thank you for giving me the chance. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.